all equals and all different means that we don't sound the same and we cannot do the many things that people can do, but we're still their friends and we don't have to treat them like the other ways. You can be friends to each other and you can play nicely with each other. It doesn't matter if other girl can't walk. You can still be friends.
St Matthias is committed to including equalities issues in the curriculum. Last year, the school invited a disabled trainer from World of Inclusion to lead 2 whole school assemblies and to work with some classes. Following this, Diane has been working to bring a disability equality perspective into the curriculum for this Year 1 class.
We've just carried on doing normal lessons that we would have done, but just having a heightened awareness to disability equality. Using it in storybooks, challenging stereotypes, fairy tales. It's no extra work, it's just literally, it's the teacher's way of thinking that has to change in order for the children's way of thinking to be altered as well. I said, good afternoon, Gideon.
To raise awareness and to support learning, Diane uses sign language alongside other community languages.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, what we do is we try and include signing as much as we can in literacy and numeracy, but we found that greetings were most important. It's one of the basic things that the children can learn, and so we do our good morning and our good afternoon sign, and we sign school dinners, pack lunches. Old MacDonald had a farm. We include it with our music and literacy, and we do a lot of songs, a lot of poetry, and in numeracy, counting games, counting songs, rhymes. We use it a lot, and they really enjoy it, and they think they're really clever because they know something different.
One pupil has limited mobility in one arm, and the class have chosen to use one-handed signs to include him.
Once upon a time, it was 10 o'clock. There lived the witch and
the class have been looking at stereotypes and the portrayal of disabled people in traditional fairy tales. This is part of their rewrite of Snow White.
Because they were different, and so people sent them away to the forest to hide.
Salome's parents are deaf and use sign language. The use of sign in class makes her feel welcome and confident.
The lady didn't even say sorry. She laughed, ha 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 ha, and then ran away.
This morning the class are finding out about the senses. Their exploration has been planned to help them think about how we experience the world and how different people's access needs can be met.
Well, I think they've understood that not everyone is the same as them, like they all say, and if they didn't have those 5 senses, or if they had other obstacles, any kind of obstacle in their way, that they'd just find other ways of getting around the problem. At that pink table, when you were pouring drinks, how did you know that you were getting to the top of the cup and your water wasn't going to overflow, Marcel?
Because we heard.
What did you hear?
We heard the noise.
You heard the noise of the liquid indicator went and you heard. So you used another sense and you just overcame that problem so quickly and easily.
To support the curriculum, Diane has ensured that disabled people are represented in class books, toys and games.
It's not difficult to get resources. You could go down to the RNIB shop and they've got plenty of things down there that we can use and implement in the lessons. And on the website, the Worlds of Inclusion.
This term's featured books include The Boy Who Grew Flowers and Seal Surfer. Both books include disabled children as central characters.
She had a lovely smile and she had one leg shorter than the other leg. And she also had a flower behind her ear. And everybody liked Angelina Quiz. She had loads of friends. And then she hears a knock on the door, and Rink has bought her the shoes. And he's put them outside the door with a bunch of flowers. And then he comes and he says, these are for you. And they fit perfectly because he was so clever, he worked out how to do it.
And it's reflected in some of their artwork. If you see up on the display, that little girl is based on Angelina, and she's got one leg shorter than the other. And so they've really taken it on board, and they do reflect it in art and in their books and in their work.
Alongside this Year 1 work, the whole school is reviewing its use of books.
We're going to look at all of the books that were offered to the children, and we're going to provide a set of questions for teachers to consider when they're choosing books. So when they're using books in their teaching, whether it's guided reading or literacy or a class book, that they've considered the inclusion issues that they may draw out of a story that previously they wouldn't have considered actually being there in the first place.
Diane and her colleagues are convinced that the class are benefiting from an increased understanding of disability equality issues.
The children, their attitudes have changed, and they're including everyone else a lot more. And we did have a bit of name calling in the class. They wouldn't do that anymore, and I think we try and include everybody now, and they'll make a conscious effort of going over and saying, would you like to play with me, you want to do this? And the class motto that they adopted, all different, all equals, helped a lot, and it's reflected in all their play, and they talk about it and they use the language. They've become a lot more critical thinkers, if I can say that. In the past they would have just absorbed anything I'd said. So that's been one of the main positives that has come out of this project.
St Matthias School is building on the disability equality work that's been achieved in Year 1.
I definitely started implementing it into the planning throughout our key stage. So it's not just this class, just because we've had the project. And I've been checking up on the parallel classes, Year 1, 2, Year 2, to make sure that they're doing the same things as well, so that it's spread throughout the playground. I've been quite impressed doing playground duty. I've noticed my children have started spreading it to the other children without it being taught.
Including disability equality in the curriculum has increased children's understanding of impairment and difference, produced high-quality work, and fulfills one of the 3 aims of the primary curriculum: to engage children as responsible citizens.